So allegedly there is some information regarding the PlayStation 5 Pro and possibly when this thing might have a release date, which I found to be very intriguing. But most of all, it got me thinking about what Microsoft will do in the event of a PlayStation 5 Pro. Clearly they would have had to have something ready to go to competition with the PS5 Pro. I want to get into a lot of these details. I think that it's very important for Microsoft to not only keep up with what Sony's doing, but I'm going to get into why I think it's important, but I also feel like Microsoft can't lose the edge that they have. They have this like really good edge right now, and I think that that's something that people maybe almost take for granted with Xbox. I don't know, but for me personally, it's just one of those things where I'm looking at this information and I'm thinking, well, Microsoft has to know this, and Microsoft has to be ready. Like, I don't see how they wouldn't be ready. And I want to get into some of the Sony news. I know I don't traditionally cover Sony news, and some of the news regarding Microsoft and their reaction and what their reaction should be, because I feel like this is very pertinent for the future of the brand and what everybody's talking about and thinking about right now. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey everyone, I'm the Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, back with yet another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please thumb the like button, give it a slapping. Slap-a-roo. I would appreciate it. It means a lot to me when you all check out all the videos and things like that I do, and I'm just much appreciated for everything that you guys do for me. So yeah, thank you guys very much. I want to get into this. Like I said, I have a goal of 100 likes on the videos, so if you could do that, would be awesome. Now, this is just a rumor right now with the PS5 Pro. So keep that in mind with you as I read it. I can link this, however. That's the great thing about all this stuff is we get all this information and then we can actually link the articles because, hey, it's pretty big news. So this leaker revealed PS5 Pro console release window. Again, this is pretty interesting. According to a reputable leaker, Sony is hoping to launch its PS5 Pro console during the 2024 holiday season. Sony often releases new iterations of its consoles that offer various aesthetic improvements and sometimes even boost their power. The original PlayStation had multiple variants that released after the original model, as did the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PSP. With the PS4, Sony just didn't release a redesigned console, a slim version as it were, but also a PS4 Pro, a system more powerful than the base PS4 console. And now rumor has it that Sony is actually planning a similar refresh for the PlayStation 5 in the form of a PlayStation 5 Pro, but fans should take information with a grain of salt until something is official. But again, where there's smoke, there's fire with this kind of stuff, so there's likely that's true. Mark Cerny did patent some new like ray tracing technology and things like that, and if you look at what came into this generation, a lot of people and a lot of emphasis and focus was on ray tracing and bringing that to consoles for the first time. And to be clear, we haven't really seen that to the level and extent that we were promised. And a lot of times when we do see ray tracing, it's at the loss of frame rate and other stability features that we've come to know and love on our consoles. So for me personally, it's like I think ray tracing is cool, but I think what we found is that medium between ray tracing and the frame rate. Like, I prefer the frame rate over some ray tracing personally, but I can see why the companies would want to include something to increase the ability to do a high frame rate with possibly ray tracing. So leaker Tom Henderson spoke about Sony's future hardware plans that will play out over the next couple of years or so. And according to Henderson, Sony's looking to launch new accessories for the PlayStation 5, including new earphones, a new headset, a Leak Q Lite handheld device, and an entirely new PlayStation 5 with a detachable disc drive. In the same report, Henderson said that it understood that PlayStation 5 Pro is aiming for a holiday, possibly November 2024 release date. Henderson's report also gives fans somewhat of an idea of what they can expect of the other PS5 hardware to hit the market. In this report, Henderson says that the PS5 handheld device will be released before the PS5 Pro, and the PS5 with the detachable disc drive, which Henderson also leaked, will come out sometime between the two devices, assuming his information is correct. Now, it remains to be seen what a PlayStation 5 Pro console will bring to the table to convince gamers to pick it up. Obviously, such a console would have added power compared to the base PS5 model, but it's unclear if many games would truly take advantage of it. Pricing may also be cause for concern. The PlayStation VR2 sales struggles show that PlayStation gamers aren't willing to spend a ton on hardware right now. PS5 systems are already priced at $500 or $550 depending on where you live, so one would imagine a PS5 Pro would be even more expensive than that, unfortunately. Then again, the introduction of a PS5 Pro could coincide with the price drop for the original PS5. Perhaps the original PS5 could get its price knocked down to $400 or $450, allowing the PS5 Pro to debut around the $500 mark instead of being even more expensive, but that's just speculation. Like me personally, like you might see some kind of decrease in price, but I still don't see how they'd be able to add that much more without at least going $550, $600. So yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those crazy things. And again, just looking at it, I don't know who the market would be for this, to be 100% honest. But in terms of what Microsoft needs to do, Microsoft has to have an answer. Now, I'm not saying that I would specifically know personally what or that I would get the actual Xbox upgrade. I probably wouldn't get the PS5 one either. But what Microsoft has to keep in mind is you have to be able to compete, and you can't let Sony get into this whole area where they're going to have a big edge in frame rate or resolutions and things like that, because they will get eaten alive by places like Digital Foundry, and they just cannot allow that to do it. They can't do it. It's just crazy how all this stuff like keeps going on and on and on. Truly, the Xbox One early days were dark days because everybody was so obsessed, utterly obsessed with resolution. And every time the Xbox didn't hit a certain resolution, it made it on all the podcasts. It made it on all the shows. It made it on everything. And it was just unfortunate for Microsoft because they had a quality, to them. The Xbox One was a very quality device, and games like Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break, which are quality games, really got overlooked because people were more focused on the resolution more so than the quality. In fact, it got so bad with the pixel counting that they were counting pixels. You guys might remember this, and if not, then let me enlighten you. There was a time when developers were afraid to show off their games even in television commercials because they were counting pixels. Right? I can remember Call of Duty. Now it's well known as something that has a PlayStation marketing deal. But back with Advanced Warfare, I believe it was still Xbox marketing deal. But when they did the original trailer, every site ran it through the spectrometers. And, oh, hey, this one's not 1080p or this one's this. It was like literally that's what happened. And Microsoft cannot afford that to happen again this time. They need to be the most powerful, even if they aren't going to utilize it. Like, listen, coming out with a Pro next year doesn't really do much for me on either case, because to be honest with you, we're already almost 3 years into the generation and haven't gotten anything on either side that specifically, honestly, is taking full advantage of the hardware to begin with, right? You have Sony, they're putting their stuff on PC as well. PC has no solid state drive mandate, meaning anything that was going to take advantage of the solid-state drive on PS5, and I'm not just talking about faster load times, I'm talking about all the stuff we were force-fed by developers leading up to the launch of the PS5, which was, oh, we're going to be able to do larger worlds and this, and exclusives are going to really take advantage of it. Well, if they can put them out on a potato PC, then clearly they aren't taking full advantage of it. So I kind of find a little bit of, I'm sitting there kind of shaking my head a bit. But anyway, Microsoft has to keep up. They have, because what they've managed to do, and I've mentioned this multiple times, even though occasionally you might see the PS5 outperform a couple frames or something on a game here and there, there's nothing to really write home about to where people are going to really run with this, right? It's like, play whichever one you want. That's sort of what we see now, and that's how it has to stay. So Microsoft has to stay ahead of the game. They need to come out with their own Xbox Series XX or whatever it is, and I think they will. I think they obviously have contingency plans all around for this stuff. I'm going to link this in the description below. Check it out, like it, love it, subscribe. Crap Gamer out.